am peaceful. Think to yourself right now. You have to say it. I am peaceful. And if you are, even for a moment, we need you. The world needs you. So I'm very grateful that you're here today, especially when you look outside. The brave, only the brave can be peaceful. That courage to be peaceful. So this is a very special month to me because we're talking about peace. And I think on a personal level, that's something that I always wanted for the world. I remember once asking, I'm born of the Jewish faith, this birth. And I asked a rabbi, a very wise woman, I said, why in my lifetime has there never been a moment of real peace that you can hear throughout the world? And a very smart rabbi. And she couldn't answer. She says, that's what we're looking for, peace, shalom. So today, our discussion, our whole month has been about a slice of peace, a taste of peace. And that actually comes from peace, pizza. Well, I'm going to ask our presenters today to give us the whole pie. We're going to talk about pizza pie, peace pie, the whole pie today. So how do we build peace? Well, I think anything that's really important requires building and scaffolding. But we need always, when you build, and I'm not an architect, although a dear friend of mine who comes here regularly is, and I've learned you need a strong foundation. And when I was thinking about it, who is the foundation for a world of peace but we as individuals? So I'm grateful for you to hear. And we're going to talk about that even after, how we're going to keep this movement going in terms of being peaceful. So I'm very delighted and excited about tonight's conversation. Also, because of who's presenting, Sister Anjani, who is the coordinator for the Brahma Kumari Global Harmony House. She's in charge here. And she's been in Raja meditation practice for over 40 years. And she's very special to me because she plucked me out of this garden. I was like this little seed. She saw in me that absolute desire for peace and to be closer to God. And she nurtured me for quite a long time till I came, and Brother Eric was right by her side. So yes, brother. So I'll never forget that because you've helped me on that journey. And also, I'm very happy that Sushil Sagar, I call you that, is that okay? Because I used to be a baby here. I'm not a baby anymore. I'm now in grade school. But you are new. But what I've learned, and I love to see you in the morning in class, we talk about zeal and enthusiasm. And you are the embodiment, makes me laugh, of zeal and enthusiasm. And they say the newer people run even faster. And it really is true. I get to watch you run in the playground with us. And you are truly, I wrote some notes about what I thought of you. That your focus, I learned, is work with love and enthusiasm. And I also work a lot. But that love and enthusiasm, and you're a nephrologist, a doctor, how lucky to be his patient. To have someone who cares that much with zeal and enthusiasm and love and respect and devotion. And we're going to hear from him. So welcome tonight, and I'm delighted to turn it over. It's going to be a very important evening. Thank you.
Om Shanti and a good evening to everyone. A hearty welcome. Donald, it's lovely to see you. Cannot hear. I think who is here for the first time? Welcome. Welcome. Again, your name is Sujata, right? We met yesterday. So welcome, welcome. Yes, we had been exploring peace, and in exploring peace for the month, it's also like building peace. But when I was thinking about building peace, even just before meditation, I said, what is this building peace? And I've been just observing. And then I realized that, yes, I have to observe myself to see what's going on, because it's my thoughts that will make me peaceful. And it is also my thoughts that will make me peaceless or not so peaceful. So I spent a bit of time observing where my mind was going in the first few minutes when I sat down for meditation. You could see that the thoughts could get connected, something, whether it's the body or something, the scenes and sceneries and the people you've met throughout the day. And then I found myself asking myself the question, are these thoughts peaceful, connecting with the different scenes, the different, I'm not going to call it situations, but the different scenes of life that plays out? What was happening? What was my experience as my mind was connecting with all of that? Did it take me away from what I wanted to feel? And I realized that they were just passing by scenes. And I allowed them to go. I didn't play with them, build on them, say, okay, why this or why that and how this, and going into all those details. And then I moved deeper to another level and I asked myself, what do I want to experience in this moment? I just wanted to be in that state, an experience of peace. Okay, this is what I want to feel. This is what I want to be. So what do I do? What is my technique right now that I would use to build on that? And I moved to that place within myself. And this is one of the things that we talk about a lot here at the Brahma Kumaris. Om Shanti, which means I'm a peaceful soul. I, the being of light, I'm peaceful. I look at everyone, I see them as peaceful. I think of God, God is the ocean of peace. So I just moved my thoughts to that place within myself, as we say, the soul, and connect with that quality. I was able to hold that thought for a few moments and then observed again, the thoughts shifted. Okay, what now do I need? And then I saw, okay, if I can emerge this quality of harmony within the self, harmony will help to build that peace and make that peace become a quality which is stronger. It was interesting this evening. I was taking some of the It was watermelon peel, and I was just taking it to the compost. So I stacked them up. And this thought came on balance, because I have to balance this container with these watermelon skin. And because I stacked them up, and how I was stacking it. And it was interesting because the thought connected that even to create something which I want to experience, because if they start falling and making a mess around me, then what would that look like? It's not going to be a peaceful feeling. And so then I realized that even this quality of balance, balancing in our lives, balancing in anything that I'm doing, whether I balance with the love and the law, or I balance with the rest for the body and the things that I have to do, anything that we have to do. And you realize that how the qualities, they're so interconnected in our day-to-day life. So it was just something I was pondering on just before coming on stage. But as you can hear, I have a little bit of a not so easy throat tonight. And so I would like to ask Sushil Bhai. Sushil Bhai, how do you build and how do you experience peace in your personal life? Sushil Bhai has a very, very busy life. We're going to look at him and check in with him. And how do you manage to experience peace?
Om Shanti, everyone. Thank you, Sister Anjani. And as you mentioned before, you are also the one who picked me up from the garden and said, you are going to be here. And that's how you want to do. And it's such a, so I just wanted to appreciate that and express my gratitude to what you do for a lot of people. And of course, for me. So coming to, I think you already gave me good hint in your last few sentences. You said that balancing is what is most important part of life. So if I give you a little picture of my day-to-day life, I have three roles to play, right? Three major roles to play, let's say, as a doctor, as a family person, as a friend. So I go around these three areas also from time to time. I go to hospital, that's my main focus, or the clinic where I work as a nephrologist. So I think the way I run my life, I try to, you see, before even go there, I think it's me. I always try to focus on me. It's me, the soul. There are zillion things happening around. The mind has what, 30 trillion cells, and they all go in different directions. And if we start talking, and you, Michelle, mentioned before that if you start talking about all that, so it becomes very confusing. So I just remember that I'm the soul and I'm the peaceful soul. And I begin my day. My day begins night before, actually, when I try to write down in my mind on my iPhone that what are the tasks I'm doing tomorrow. And then so that's my day starts previous night. I have a plan for the day. And I said gratitude at that time. A few words, Om Shanti included. And then I sleep. I sleep like a baby. I never have a problem with sleeping. I sleep through. And I wake up early morning on the Vela and then meditation and then I get out of the house. So before I start from the house, my most successful moment is that I don't want to hurry. Do not hurry from the house. So I take my steps, I go out, and then I kind of, if I going to the hospital, what kind of a role I will play. So we say we care. That's how I say. But this doesn't apply to even hospital. It applies to even household. We care stands for welcome. Welcome the situation, welcome the patient, welcome the friend or colleague. So W for that. E for empathy. My field is such that without empathy, a doctor cannot play his role. So empathy is very powerful, but that can apply to even household. And then C for compassion, very important. A couple of years back, I wrote an op-ed for one of the journals. Care, compassion, curiosity, and courage. You pointed out courage, you pointed out courage too. So all this mixture of 4 C's for young doctors I wrote. And I think that's what brings in a lot of compassion there. Where are these? We care, C. A, effective listening. Pay attention to what they're saying. And R is respect. So when we have a respect for anything, whether it's nature, you mentioned Mother Nature, whether in the meditation we were appreciating the Mother Nature, whether it's a patient, so that kind of a thing. And the E is, what is E? Encouragement. Encouragement. So I always remember as I'm getting into my car, I said, we care. That's what I say. And that brings me all these thought processes in myself. I'm very peaceful. Then when you start your patient and when you go there, you look into their eyes, you hold their hand, talk to them. These days you don't hold their hands, but you make that gesture that you are really there for them. They're listening to you, they're seeing you, you're listening to them carefully. That's what walks me throughout the day very, very peacefully. Whether I'm in office, and then a lot of other powers come into action. Powers means my powers of my soul. So like earlier on, it was mentioned by your sister. When I'm under any situation, if I can know what is the situation demand from me, and I can invoke that power in me, invite it in my conscious mind, and then let it come into my words and actions, I think that solves all the problem. Any difficult situation become a piece of cake, they call it, or just a little. And any small problem can become big if you lose this sight. So I think that's now coming the balancing you're saying, right? You want me to
It's
pause?
Many qualities that is needed to
Balance.
hold this piece together. Because peace is not passive. Peace is not something that is passive, that I just sit back and say, oh, let me just be away from everything and just sit quietly in a corner and time out. It's not.
You have to, peace is the nature of me, right? That's my nature, is the peace. So I have to experience that all the time, not passively, but how do I experience the peace in me? So if I keep experiencing it, it's keep multiplying. It becomes stronger and stronger. So that's balancing is social field, same thing. So different, I talked about different powers are how I invoke. What I do if I'm in a social circle, I'm with friends. So I use the power of detachment very often, tolerance, accommodation, what they need. Is there something I can make their life easier there? Listening again is very, very powerful there. And at the family, when you're talking balancing in the family, probably the love. Love is powerful everywhere, but within the family, it's the love and compassion and care that all comes into there too. So that's how I try to balance. So the roles may be slightly different, but the power of the soul that brings the peace ultimately is my soul's and my responsibility. It's not a goal. Peace is not a goal. Peace is the ultimate requirement. Everybody should have it. And that's a fundamental right for everybody. So it's
Every soul is peaceful.
every soul is peaceful. But once it gets disturbed and mind, like you refer to, if mind is not into kind of a balance, then the peace is lost. But it can be by actively pursuing it and bringing it back, you can actually bring peace.
And so that's the faith that I am peace. Peace is my nature. Peace is who I am. I don't have to go looking for peace, because many times we say, let's go for a holiday. And, I need to get away from New York City. And so going away for a holiday, yes, it's lovely to go somewhere, go and take a boat cruise, or you go to Australia. That's where you were recently. But then you come back to life and everything is same movement. But it's, how do I bring something deeper of myself into what I'm doing so life don't feel it's the same? You return back from your holiday and you say, well, all the problems are still here. Everyone is still the same in the family. The situations around you are all the same. It's the same because if my thoughts are the same, then everything will stand the same. But if I start changing at the thought level, where I can experience the joy of my life, I can experience the wonder that being with Mother Nature, wherever I was, making new friends, doing different things, you're coming back with a wave of energy. And Sushil Bhai, one of his qualities is really zeal and enthusiasm when he has to share what he has to share in life. And these are qualities that we need, because if I don't have these qualities, life will feel, what am I living in every day? What is our world looking like today? Is it a very peaceful world? It's not. It's a very challenging world. So many things are around us to take me away from the peace that I really want to experience. Now, who are we going to go to and ask for peace? Is there anyone in the world we can go to and say, you know what, you're responsible for making this world a peaceful place for me? The young children are asking today, everyone has lived their lives. And here we are now, and we should be enjoying our lives. But there is no peace around. So who will answer to all of the people? Who will answer to everyone asking for this quality, which is so important in everyone's life today? And that is peace, surrounded by so much peacelessness. You can't even believe the things you hear today. It's another, big aspect to life, that you receive so much information. Look at it. What is truth anymore? And so this is where I was seeing peace coming from a quality which we say is purity. And I would see purity as a rainbow. It's where all the colors are there. This is how peace coming from that purity will give the experience of that truth which lies within each one of us. So that whatever is happening on the outer, or even on the surface of my own mind, I don't get stuck with it. I don't keep going on within myself with those thoughts. It's like a playback. It's like a record playing inside and telling me all of this, scenes and sceneries and people and all the things that creates a world of peacelessness inside. So I have to teach myself. I have to be the guide for myself as to what quality of thoughts I would want to create to have the experience I would like to in my life. And so, Sushil Bhai, you also teach young doctors. How do you help them in their profession? Coming onto this field, they're looking forward, and then yet they're faced with so many big challenges, which they don't know about, but you know about it. So how do you help them to create that inner security and inner feeling of wanting to learn and remaining at ease?
Yeah, so that's a very interesting question, sister. And we use this similar kind of a approach for young physicians, that most of the times they are fearful that they may not do something wrong. That's the most important fear comes out. They're of course worried about their exams and day-to-day performance. So we kind of encourage them. That's a very important thing, that holding hands kind of a thing, you know. You teach them and they come, they cry on your shoulders. So you talk to them, you sit down with them, and you just infuse them with that power that you'll be fine if you take right steps. And those right steps we can then lay out for them. Okay, these are the steps you need to take. And of late, I have started experiencing some of the qualities of the soul to talk to them actually, and they are very receptive. They have come back to me, oh, that really helped. In our office also, sometime besides the doctors, we talk to our colleagues who are younger doctors, and we tell them that, okay, this is how you do it. This will bring better lifestyle for you as well as your patient. They'll be happier. If you go happy, you bring happiness. If you practice this, you will be peaceful. So those kind of a guidelines, you know, like I mentioned before, op-ed I wrote for young doctors: care, compassion, courage, and curiosity. And those four I highlight with them. I give them a handout sometime. Read it. You can always make additional developments from that. So I think those kind of approaches of supporting them as they come out into their new challenges and new life, making that their life easier and telling them, okay, we are here for you, listening to them, what their concerns are. So all those fundamentals apply to them also. And I think we are very fortunate. We get medical students to shadow in our offices from so many, you know, two major university hospitals. We get young doctors in their internship and the residency and fellowships. So I think we are very lucky to provide them that extra piece um, of information besides the didactics, you know, and that goes a long way, I think.
So do you find that in the environment at workplace as well as, where you teach them and they're all together, do you find that it's your meditation has helped you to create that experience for them at least?
Yes. In at least office, we have our control. With the corporate hospitals, it's a little bit a challenge to get them involved and what is acceptable, what is not acceptable. We face some difficulties, but at least in our offices, we can practice it. And it's been helpful. I also believe, actually you already pointed it out, that peace is with it. You know, there is this, sometimes I talk to them like this. If you are you're alone and you are miserable, where is the problem? Problem is within you. So don't look for the problem outside. You got to fix it. But if you're happy, the problem is solved. So that's sort of some kind of these things hit them really, and they're very impactful. So you support them. Support is the most important thing. These young people, they need really the good mentors and good people who can devote their time for the teaching, of course, and that's how they develop confidence. And then they come back to you.
Because when our foundation in anything is very strong, we don't shake easily. You know, I'm sitting on this chair, but if one of the leg is shaking, then I would have to get another chair. And so in our lives also, we find that whether it's with myself, the qualities that I have within myself, the qualities with those whom I'm surrounded by. Everyone have their own qualities, that which is special in their lives that they use. And so when we bring all of these qualities, and I would look at it, it's like bringing all the materials together, you can really create that which is so beautiful. What was this building built? What was this foundation built with? Very, very strong materials that it just can't fall easily. The wind just doesn't blow and then pick it up and take it away. And so we know today they are building earthquake-proof houses and hurricane-proof houses, and they're trying to build all these things, but everything has to do with foundation. That's where it starts from. And so in our own lives, we have to see that every day that I'm challenged by something, I have to see that it's something more that I need to put into the materials that I'm using for building my peace. And it is not only peace that I'm building and I'm doing that, but there will be love. Someone was saying that you can't really connect to love with peace. But I would say that if there isn't love and there is only peace, there will be a bit of a dryness to life. Because where there is love, there is warmth, there is feelings, there is more expression, and it adds to peace. It creates the environment of peace. It brings family into an atmosphere which gives the experience that it's a happy home. It's a friendly home. It's a home that I want to be in. And so these qualities add to it. And so Sushil, how do you at home create an environment at home when you're with your bigger family? Because I know you and Latavan is there, but then you have the grandchildren and children and all the in-laws. So how do you create that feeling at a family level?
That's a little difficult question, but I'll try to answer it. So when you are within the family, I think love is the most important part. When your environment is filled with lots of love around, the things go very smooth. But suddenly, storms happen here and there because the grandchildren are doing something which parents didn't like or you didn't like. So there is no liking and disliking here. That's what we practice. Okay, everything has its place and everything is happening. So do not react to anything. Just make sure everybody's safe and everybody is being taken care of. But we don't attach ourselves with the situation. So if I start worrying about something, then that's the ripple effect. It keeps giving you more trouble, more thoughts starts going into different directions. So try to avoid that situation. And most of the times, if you just let things flow the way they are flowing, things just settle down. Support is the only thing. I think and you remain as in adult individuals, children of course apart, unshakable, immovable, that things are going to be good and they will be perfectly fine. You have to just make sure nothing, children can do things which are unexpected. So be watchful and just support them, divert their attention. They're doing something, just give something that's more attractive to them than what they are making a mess with, and things just start correcting. So no judging anybody, not picking on anyone, not telling anybody, why did you do this? That's ego part starts coming into play very often. So we try to stay away from that, Even telling somebody, oh, it could have been done this way is controlling, right? So we don't do that sort of a thing. But sometimes, it happens, but then you start your repair process. So when it happens and you go back and revisit, okay, how I'm going to repair it, and then you repair it and everything goes back to normal. Yeah, that answers.
Yes. Yes, because little ones can definitely have you running around, but definitely they are the joy in the home.
Yes.
And so you're able to let them be. And sometimes it's the adults that we might have a little bit more wasteful thoughts for. And so, any thought on that?
Well, yes. So when wasteful thoughts from adults starts coming, put a barrier. You listen. The other day we were listening. You listen from one ear, take out from the other ear. You remember, if I may quote Mahatma Gandhi's model of three monkeys. Don't hear evil. And this morning we were listening it, right? Don't hear any evil. Don't say any evil. Don't see any evil. So three sense organs, control them. And I think that's all. If I start or somebody start in the adult area talking about something, then and you start reacting to it, then you are in trouble. So do not just no reaction.
And you're able to do that.
Yes. Not 100% of the times. I'm probably will be able to do, if I want to put 95% of the times. Some of our families may not be able to, some of our friends circle may not be able to do as much, but I think thanks to introduction to Raj Yoga, it's a day and night for me. I was the same 3-4 years. From childhood, I had a different chemistry. And so that chemistry was beautiful. But then between my 17 years getting into medical school and till 4 years back, I would say, things became kind of unmanageably bad, I would say, mentally and thought process wise. And then now it's all cool. Absolutely cool. So good, nothing bothers. Happy all the moment, peaceful all the moment. Can't ask for better.
That's
Thank you.
wonderful. If you can have a life that is so stable and happy and joyful. And that's why I keep saying that he's the one who is very enthusiastic. He's always full of life when he shares. One of the things that all of you who drive, it's one of the questions that always comes up on the road, right? The road rage. And, it's easy. Sometimes I hear people who are very peaceful, wonderful. Suddenly it's like that person takes that piece away for the moment. How do you manage that?
Well, this is very fresh in my memory because when I was driving here, I was coming from east, but still traffic is pretty intense. I knew the planning in advance is very important and GPS helps you. So I knew and I put my system in place that, okay, it will remind me. So it started reminding me, you need to go kind of a thing, alert starts coming. So, and on my way, several times people wanted to, I was just sitting there as I'm in my proper lane. If he wants to come in front of me, go ahead, please. And I think let people go the way they want. If you start, the same thing applied to like a home or family or friends or traffic. If you start fighting with their desire to do something, then you have nothing to gain. What I gain is that I can control myself. These zillion people on the earth running around all over, I can control even one person. Even if I can control myself, I'm very lucky. But expecting the other person to do your way doesn't happen more often than not. You'll be unsuccessful. So that's why I look at it, that I can't, if he wants to go, coming to the traffic back, if he wants to go, let him go rather than I move and then he moves and then I move and he moves. You know how people do that. So I will not let you go. So I just let them go to right here on the service road. When I was making the right turn here, somebody just came and then he wanted to run to Middle Neck Road. So that's perfectly fine. Let him go. So that accepting others as they are, rather than correcting them and changing them, is the success. To me, I think that's a way. If I start reacting to their behavior and I start telling myself, no, he got to fix it, it's a utter failure to my mind. And who is going to fail? Not them. I'm the failure. So if I want to be peaceful and enjoy my dinner and enjoy my being here today and enjoy walk in the park or walking with my dog, I have to be at peace. At least I have to be at peace. Whether others are not or not doesn't matter. So that's how probably I would do that.
Very good. Interesting. Anyone has any thought from the room to share? A thought? Yes. Just one moment, please.
So our Zoom audience can hear.
But it seems to me boils down to, it's not what happens to us or people do. It's how we think about it and our attitude towards it. So if we think, I accept whatever, then we'll stay calm and peaceful.
Right.
Thank you.
Because we can't change anyone.
I mean, if I may, although on that point did give you my idea of, but at the same time, it's also, we have a conscience, right? So standing by somebody who is being, let's say, bullied or who is being discriminated, standing up for them is also a good quality. I stand up. If my staff is being told something, negative or something which they haven't done, let's say, and something bad is coming out. So I think standing up to support them, empowering them that we are here. So that's also very important. You have to have the courage to speak up and stand by the truth. Without going into religious side, but if you know what is truth and what is not truth, you should stand by the truth. And that is one of the problems the world over today. There is so much of discrimination, unacceptance, inequalities. So we didn't touch upon those points, but I think once we start accepting those things in our life, that if somebody is this way, that's all, that's okay, acceptable. If somebody doesn't speak this language or that language, this is perfectly fine. They speak that language. I should welcome them and I should love their language as much as, even if I don't speak them. So I think standing by the people to support them for good reasons is very important. So we don't want to accept everything that somebody is doing, but we want to accept ourselves as I am and support them.
The most important thing is that we can't change anyone. But yes, standing up for others around is also important, but that also, it has to be within certain qualities that we need to use. Because sometimes standing up for something, I remember there was a time I would say, oh, where's justice? You want to see justice. There's no justice here. And, you carry on with this whole thing of justice and what's just and I mean, one day I was having a conversation with someone, and this person said to me, you don't stand up for justice. You just have to be who you are. And in those qualities, that's what you are. And then we all talk about a world that we create of happiness and joy and all the beautiful qualities. And justice is not one of the quality. So then I realized that these thoughts can take away our peace. you know. So how do I stand up to anything, for anything? It also calls for a lot of our own inner strength, where, because I could be standing up for something and I could, or someone, and I could create division there in standing up, one side or the other side. So how to stand up under these circumstances that doesn't create a conflict outside of me?
So I think the first power that I want to use is the power to discriminate the situation, try to find out. And it doesn't have to verbalize that way. It doesn't have to be told that, okay, this is right or this is wrong. Sometimes it may be a very private conversation in a separate room. And then talking to them the situation, and then try to remove the conflict where the conflict is. So, but always situation may not be that easy. So then you withdraw yourself. Then I will not. If I think it's going to be beyond me, I'm not going to be involved. I'm going to just remain without getting attached to the situation and withdraw myself and be safe for me and for the other party, other group, other environment as well. But sometimes in the private conversations help. So there can be, and we deal with conflicts all the time in dialysis units or hospitals. So we just sit in a separate room and talk to the affected parties, and most of the times they hear what is the right thing. So long your conscience is clear that you are doing the right thing and they understand your role, and then you are able to finish it amicably and happily, but not always so. So when that happens, withdraw.
Yes.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Thank you, Louise. How does one deal with the change in the weather and one's mood can be affected? How do you cope with it? So some people have, I guess, the change in the weather affects their mood. So how do you cope with that? I guess external things that affect your mood.
Doctor?
It's a medical question. Well, it's very well ingrained in our ideas that, okay, it's a weather like this, so it causes depression, right? Some people say it's a blessed weather. It's a pouring happiness from the heaven. All different expressions. When I was growing up in India, rain is a welcome thing. Rain is the happiest moment for children and families. They will go out in the street and dance. So whereas if it's rain here, perhaps it changes our lifestyle so much, then we may feel, down. So that's one way of looking at it. So I think Mother Nature has so many colors. One day it will be cloudy, next day it will be sunshine, and New York is so beautiful place. So this question doesn't exist because it has all the four weathers, which I love. So I think, yes, it's our thought process. What we think makes us do exactly what our mind is making us do. So see, I mentioned probably 30 trillion cells in the body. And mind, as a physician, I can say, mind talks to each cell every minute, every second, every fraction of second, I would say. It's talking to each cell. So whatever we generate here in the mind is going to make your body feel, your organs feel. So if your mind knows that there is a rain and today is going to be cloudy and it's going to be very cold and it's really going to be horrible weather, right? Then that thoughts that came to my mind are going to cause effects in my body. And that will make my body, how now there's so much worries and tension came already, right? All the endorphins have disappeared, all the other hormones, bad hormones are being generated. And so my body is going to become inactive, right? It will have no energy left. It feel like I should go disappear somewhere. So those could be the effects of the weather. But how do you combat it is by your thought process. By thinking only that, oh, nothing is going to happen. Have I ever suffered anything in rain? You have to be a little careful in driving. That's the only thing. Rest is all. My dog doesn't want to walk in rain. That's the only worry. But rest is all good. I hope I answered the question.
Sushabai, that when you spoke about when a challenge comes before you and you set yourself to say, what skills do I bring to it even before? So you, because oftentimes you think it has to be fixed, that, you know, it's almost like an arrogance I would have that I have to fix this. And sometimes you are limited in what you can do, that acceptance of what you can do to help the situation, that should be enough, that you're even listening, as you had mentioned, and then attempting with what you have to try and mitigate the situation. But you may not be able to fix it, and you shouldn't ruminate. I think what you had said afterwards, if the situation is not fixed, it's out of your control, oftentimes with other people. So I think that was an important thing that you brought up. Thank you.
And it's also great humility to let go. You know, it's great humility because they're just scenes that would just emerge for the moment. But we are the ones who hold these things and make them big, and we create the peacelessness with it. And so that's when we have to just become quiet inside, you know, really move to a place. And this is why this meditation is so beautiful, because it takes you back to that which is sacred within yourself. That space, it's like your sanctuary of peace. And when you move there, you're safe. Everything's fine. Everything is wonderful, whether it's Mother Nature, whether it's people, whether it's things that didn't go well for you, what you've been doing, or whatever the case may be. I just moved to that sweet space inside. And this is why we always encourage everyone, learn meditation, because you have a place to go to within yourself.
The person who has a follow-up to the weather question, and it's an important question. Are you saying to change one thought process to cope with the change in weather? I think you did say that, but what about self-talk? Can you talk to yourself? And we talk about that sometimes in meditation, but can you talk to yourself?
Yeah, you can talk to yourself. You can reassure yourself, and you can say, everything's going to be fine. I'll be fine. Whether I have to go to work or not, I will be fine. This doesn't stop me from doing things that I want to do. It's me, what I want to do. I should be able to do. Thank you.
We will have a few minutes of meditation, if there is any other. No other. And what about our friends in the room? What thoughts do you have to share? Please, Frank. Would you like to share something? Just 1 second, please. You just. So let's have a few minutes, if that's okay, Michelle. We can have a few minutes of meditation. And so let's sit comfortably. And let's become aware that the experiences I have in life, I create them. And so in this moment, the experience that I would like to experience need to be peaceful. where my thoughts and my feelings are in a state of harmony. But there is beauty in my inner world. There is love. There is acceptance. There is sharing. And as I keep on using all these beautiful qualities, I can feel the strength of peace is so strong that it can withstand the storms of life. I just need to remember that I am peaceful. The one that I belong to is the supreme source of peace, the ocean of peace. When I think of myself, I think of the source of peace. This connection gives the experience of the rays of peace, vibrations of peace, feelings. My inner world is filled with that serenity, easiness, lightness. It is very comforting. So whether it's the weather out there or the people I associate with, or the different scenes and sceneries of life which passes by, I'm able to still be who I am, be with God the Supreme. Share my good feelings, these purest feelings, with everyone and everything out there, to create this experience of peace wherever I go. I am a peaceful being of light, full and constant. Om Shanti. Sushil, it was a pleasure being with you here this evening.
It was my pleasure entirely, everyone. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. My good fortune. Thank you.
Thank you both for the delightful. I am peaceful. Are you peaceful? I hope stay peaceful. We have to work at it to keep that peace going all evening and into tomorrow and into hopefully perpetuity. I want to ask you, first of all, thank you both. Thank you, Zoom audience. Thank you for being here tonight. We have two announcements and they tie in beautifully with today. We are going forward with peace. It's not stopping. On Saturday, in person, we are having a workshop. It started at in Central Park with the UN. We did a program, Peace in the Park, and Brahma Kumaris, Global Harmony House in particular, did a wonderful exhibition, Sister Tina, Sister Anjani, on becoming ambassadors for peace. Because if we want to see in the world, peace in the world, we have to be the ambassador. So I am an ambassador in training, starting to take the classes. We are doing a workshop on Saturday between 2 and 5. It'll be very enjoyable, very light, and we will have an even deeper dive into how, if you like what you had today, deeper dive into how do we sustain that peace for ourselves, and then in turn show others. And we build an army of ambassadors of peace, but not an army, military, a non-violent, peaceful army. And that's the goal of this. We're going to be meeting on Saturday between 2 and 5. You have to register, so you can contact Harmony House.
I think everyone receives the email.
Do you get the email? If not, if you can sign up, but on Saturday. And next week, Thursday, we're starting a new month. So we have a new topic. Listen beautifully, nonviolence. And I want to say it's a very special evening. We always have special guests, but we are going to have a presenter, Trinell Gabay, very well known, if you can Google her. She has taken a tragedy in her life and has turned it around into a remarkable foundation. And she's we're blessed to have her as a guest. She started a foundation, the Carrie Gabay Foundation, in honor of her husband. And it's going to be a very special night next Thursday, October 5th. And I'm hoping we're going to have it in person and in Zoom. So all you Zoom people, come here Thursday and show your support for Trinell. Thank you. Yes, and Tina
And
will-
Michelle.
Yes.
Michelle.
Okay, so thank you very much again. Have a great evening and very peaceful. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you, everyone.